So I've been working on a video for Secret of the Mimic because I love that game, but I've kind of been getting burned out, so I just want to yap. I just want to order a Yappuccino. We're just going to talk for a little bit. It probably won't be very long, but we're going full leafy, full Pyrocynical 2017. We're just going to talk. So not too long ago, I went to go see the new Avatar movie, and while I found it an enjoyable watch other than the comically long runtime, something that did low-key rub me the wrong way was, spoilers, how one of the main bad guys was defeated, where he falls off a ledge into a fiery abyss and disappears from view. And I had just immediately knew that he was gonna come back in the next movie. And it got me thinking about a bunch of other dumb cop-out deaths that I've seen in media over the years, and I just want to yap about him here. The first one that we gotta bring up, the most iconic, stupid comeback in human history, is somehow Palpatine returned. Because, bitch, what do you mean somehow Palpatine returned? You know your writing is bad if you had to put the word somehow in there. And the actual explanation they give isn't much better either. You mean to tell me that there was a secret cloning facility that we didn't know about, even though the cloning facility in the prequels was decommissioned, and that also Snoke was Palpatine the whole time? Bruh, way to actually assassinate a character. It's not like Snoke was the greatest thing ever, but at least he was a new villain, or we thought he was. And just that delivery. Somehow Palpatine returned. Golden bad writing. Generational bad writing even. It is the reason why, this movie is laughed upon so much. Other than, literally the rest of the movie. At least with Darth Maul coming back, yeah, it was a little silly. But, his arc was so cool in Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels that I was able to brush it off. The thing about a cop-out death is that it technically could make sense, but could still be stupid. But sometimes it just makes no goddamn sense. And in this case, it makes no goddamn sense. Another really iconic cop-out death, especially in the gaming scene, is I wasn't in that tank. So for those who don't know, there's this bad guy in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Roman numeral 2, 2022, and his name is Graves, and he's a pretty alright bad guy. He's pretty entertaining. And his final boss, supposedly, is him being in a tank. And so you throw a C4 on the tank and tank go boom, right? Well, no, actually. So in a cutscene, they say, I heard you died in a tank in South America. And I kid you not, the actual delivery of his line is, well, I wasn't in that tank. But, I'm pretty sure you were, though. By the way, you don't find this out in the sequel. He's just alive in the sequel. No, instead, you have to find out in a in-game cutscene during a Warzone update. And you can't view this cutscene anymore. So if you're a new player going into Modern Warfare 3, Roman numeral 3, 2023, you will be utterly lost why Graves is back. And it's not the first time they did this stupid shit, too. In Modern Warfare 2019, there was this really cool guy named Alex, and he, blew up in a factory. But in another Warzone cutscene, he came back all well and dandy. And again, you wouldn't know this if you didn't play Warzone at the time. And there's this other random guy, he's a bad guy or something. He gets shot in the head by a gun in Modern Warfare 3, right? And now he's just back in Warzone. And you can see the bullet hole in his head, and he's just alive, canonically. And so it's gone to a point where nobody actually dies in Call of Duty because they'll all just go, oh, I wasn't in that tank. I love when the Act Man was reviewing Modern Warfare 3 and Soap gets shot and he just goes, oh, my brain wasn't in my skull. My ashes weren't actually in that jar. And in the case with Graves, it technically makes sense because we never see him get in the tank, but it just feels like such a cop-out. And even Five Nights at Freddy's has low-key kind of had a dumb cop-out with William Afton just being kept alive in UCN for him to then come back later in the books. Thankfully, they then course-corrected and made one of the best villains in the series. Other than that one instance, though, FNAF is actually pretty good at usually killing off a character when they die, or that the character actually, lives through a sensible way. I can't wait for Circus Baby to come back and she's all like, I wasn't in that pizzeria. Another absolutely dumbass comeback was in Sonic 06. I understand that the Chaos Emeralds are all powerful and stuff, but the idea that just a kiss from a human makes them all well and good, it's just so dumb. Obviously, that's the least of Sonic 06's writing problems. There was also Sonic Heroes, which brought back Shadow and kind of trudged the line between if it was like a robot or not. But then Shadow the Hedgehog just gave the fuck up and was just like, yeah, it's the real deal. As much as I love the Sonic 3 movie too, even Shadow coming back in the end credits was kind of stupid. And while I can give leeway for the Sonic 3 movie, Shadow the Hedgehog just never explains it. Not even Shadow Generations does. He's just kind of alive, and you just kind of have to accept it. And it's not like you can't have good comebacks for characters. I've seen plenty of series that have been able to bring back a character in an awesome way. But a bad cop-out death could also just show the perfect example of bad writing. You really just feel as like, oh, people really like that character, we gotta bring him back now, we gotta bring him back. It shows that the writer didn't give enough thought about why or how the character came back. When thinking about a character comeback, you have to think about why or how they came back and then integrate it smoothly into the story. Because if you do it correctly, it can gain more plot rather than losing it. Anyway, that's about all I wanted to say. Just a yap sesh of me talking about bad writing because it's really funny. Well, sometimes it can actually be really frustrating, but you get what I mean. Don't forget to do all the YouTuber stuff, and I'll see you all next time. Afton, I heard your balls got stuck in a spring lock suit. Oh, I didn't have any balls.